In our interview, I spoke to Dr. Chris Ngige, the Minister of Labour and Employment, over issues concerning the labour union in the country. Dr. Chris Ngige, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let's begin with the rationale behind the no work, no pay law, which really is coming behind a string of industrial actions.
The no work, no pay phenomenon entered the national law in 2004, Law of the Federation on Trade Disputes, the Trade Disputes Act. It makes provision in Section 43 and goes to say that where negotiations are broken down between an employer or an employee, or where there was no discussion at all, and the worker feels that he should go on strike, because there is no slave labor, you can withdraw your services. You go on strike, but for as long as you are out, the employer reserves the right and is no longer compelled by the law of employee-employers relationship to pay you any emolument. No salary, no allowances for the period in question. And it goes further to say that that period should not count as part of the pensionable periods for the person, for the worker.
When do you begin implementation?
Employers have been observing it. The only thing is that we are amplifying it. We're re-announcing. We are saying this law exists. Why? Because we have to give the law a human face this time around. When ASU went, they didn't conform to any of the trade union regulations. There was no notice.
Now, the federal government plans to review the constitution, so to speak, of labor unions with a view to looking at the leadership tenure, and reviewing it. How far have you gone with this?
We have a committee in situ, and the committee is already working.
What is the review about?
To make sure, number one, that most of the constitution have tenure, time limits. It cannot be open-ended.
What are you looking at? What sort of time limit?
We don't have a time limit, but there must be a time limit in there. Some people can say you do 3 terms. We're not bothered, provided all the members of the association agree to that.
So there's no draft yet for that?
No. We're not imposing anything. We're not imposing anything. We're only trying to see that the right things are done.
Are you not concerned that this would put you on a collision course?
No, there will not be collision course at all. In fact, a lot of the unions are happy about that. For some people, because there is no term limit, they keep on presenting themselves. And at a point now, there's factionalization. Because some people say you must go, you must give way. But it's not in your constitution. We are trying to help the unions to be on the right path of democracy.
Well, by 1st of November, the deadline for the implementation of the federal government ASU agreement would have popped up. Give us the latest on that.
Well, the major kernel of agreements reached with ASU is in the areas of, number one, what you can call end allowances. The federal government earmarked some money for payment in September and October, and I think that is being addressed. The AIE was released even while we were discussing for the first tranche of, I think, 23 billion. And by October, another tranche is for the end allowances to be paid. By
October?
Yeah.
By October?
Not only by October, there's backlog. There's a backlog from 2013. The backlog. And there is also the fund for revitalization of the university system. We offered them something. We don't have money. They agreed, and the government will see to that. We've made provision for the payment as the necessary approvals have been given to the Minister of Finance. And between the Minister of Finance, the Accountant General's Office, and Budget and Planning, they will take care of it. There was also the issue of shortfall in salaries. It didn't affect only themselves, it affected even the people in the civil service and the other public corporations and agencies. The shortfalls arose because they are not on what we call IPs, the integrated payment system. So they're not there. And once you're not there and not captured into the database of IPs, anything can happen because they're on what we call the irregular allowances. That's where they are paid from, irregular salaries and allowances. So it's like a manual thing, actually.
So this has been addressed holistically as we speak?
Oh yeah, IPs, by now the teaching hospitals will start being on IPs. And when they just get on IPs, that will be a thing of the past. We are trying to convince ASU to go into IPs. They are refusing. It's good I mention it. They are refusing. And the reason they are giving for refusing is because the IPs software will not pay you 2 times. Yes.
What are you suggesting?
Because some lecturers work here in one university A and work in another university B, and sometimes in university C.
Is that owing to the dearth of lecturers?
Oh yeah. The National Universities Commission approved that for them. It's not an illegal thing. So that's why they are resisting.
And why are you insisting?
We're insisting because that's the only way you can receive your salaries regularly. For now. So it's better you get one salary fully and then make a special case for the second place you're teaching or third place you're teaching. That's my take on it. We discussed freely, and that's the situation.
Let's talk about labor unions renewing their call for the review of the national minimum, wage. What exactly is happening, in this regard?
What exactly is happening is that our own last minimum wage law, assented to by President Jonathan, expired last year. Government agreed to do some cushioning effect, and we put up a technical committee. So we have done a framework for a 30-man committee, and that been passed by Federal Executive Council. The committee is a broad-based committee.
So beyond the committees,
The committee now, we have gotten the nominations, the final of the nominations. We are waiting for the appointment of the chairman and the inauguration of the committee. If I ask you now, you will say that the minimum wage is 18,500. Why can't they pay 18,500?
That's what it looks like.
The minimum wage of 18,500 means that this is the minimum wage any employer can pay. True. Or should pay by law. True. Even you employing house help, your house help should not earn anything more than 18,500. That's the implication. Even people who take apprentice, 18,500 is the minimum thing. So you can see that it's not only for government. Besides, second point, that 18,500 is a benchmark. You have to then move up on all the other salary grade levels on a sliding scale.
So that is something you think the federal government cannot keep up with?
Not federal government, because federal government is not the only person employing.
Across the board.
That is why we are doing social dialoguing. That's why we are meeting in a minimum wage committee. And everybody will put the cash on the table.
Is that happening this year?
It's going to happen this year.
Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed with you, but for now, that's as much as we have time for. Thank you very much for your time on Dateline Abuja.
You're welcome,
Thank
Gloria.
you.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your mails as always. Keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. And don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. See you again.